There were church fairs, temperance meetings, women's suffrage meetings, anti-women's suffrage meetings, temperance meetings, anti-temperance meetings. They had dances upstairs, dinners downstairs, lectures upon lectures, featuring about Shakespeare's King Henry V to elephants. There were movies from silent films like The Great Train Robbery to classics like All About Eve, and foreign films including Three Penny Opera. And it all started on May 29th, 1872 with the Grand Dedication Ball. So please, sit back and enjoy our first two numbers of the night from the Grand Dedication Ball. Now, our next number took place in 1898. But before we go there, I'd like to tell you about another number. And in order to do that, we're going to get a little help from lifelong Harvard resident Amelia Ersing. She wrote, "On Valentine's evening, 1894, the chill air of Harvard Center was moist with the breath of hundreds of carriage horses, who would wait until well past midnight to convey their owners many miles back home. What brought over 1,000 people to the town hall that winter night was neither a wedding, nor a funeral, nor a lecture by a noted scholar, philosopher, or politician. The reason for all those people to congregate in finery and fanfare was a dance. The Harvard Town Hall was known for miles around as having the best dance floor, and Harvard held a lot of dances. On this particular night, Valentine's Eve, 1894, the town hall held a dance to honor Simon Green. Simon was a dancing master and taught dance and music instruction in Harvard and the surrounding towns. And he even took a regular trip to Greenfield, Massachusetts by horse and buggy to teach dance. This event was so big they had to split it into two parties, one for adults and young children, and one for young men and women. And now, to move on to 1898, please enjoy Infernal Gala by Jacques Offenbach. One quick note on the Infernal Galop before we move on. Infernal Galop was part of Offenbach's operetta Orpheus in the Underground. The operetta was not immediately successful. It was not immediately a critical success, because critics considered it lewd and lascivious. Of course, the critics' contention to the operetta attracted the public, and it eventually became a wildly successful operetta. The Infernal Galop itself was featured during a party and dance of the Greek gods, which I imagine was quite an entertainment. One contemporary critic wrote that the piece is a coarse and grotesque parody full of vulgar and indecent scenes that give off an unhealthy odor. Now imagine that in French, it's probably even more insulting. More recently, a Toronto opera company created controversy when they portrayed Offenbach's Heaven as a club med and Hell as a leather bar. Moving on to 1901, Miss Nellie Eibel Friend came to the town hall to perform a concert of banjo solos. Miss Friend came from a long line of banjo makers and players. She started playing professionally at a very young age in order to help her parents out around the house. She later married Victor Friend, who, along with his brother, founded the Friend's Baked Bean Company. And now, please enjoy Miss Nellie Eibel Friend and Friends. spin the calendar ahead 29 years to 1930. The U.S. and the world is in the midst of a Great Depression, but Harvard still wants to be entertained. And the residents of Harvard could always count on Warner Free Lectures to provide them with some fun. In 1930, Warner Free Lectures brought the Scottish musical company to town to perform the musical Tam O'Shanter. The musical Tam O'Shanter is based on Robert Burns' poem of the same name. In this poem, Tam ignores his wife's advice to avoid the haunted Alloway Kirk ruins. After a night of hard drinking, he chooses to take the short way home, and as he's passing the ruins, he is struck by the sight of witches and warlocks dancing among them. In an unguarded moment, poor Tam cheers for one of the dancers, and finds himself and his loyal mare, Maggie, running for their lives, chased by evil witches. Maggie leads him towards the bridge over the River Doon, knowing that evil cannot cross running water. Just as they're about to gain safety, a witch grabbed Maggie's tail, but with one last push, Maggie and Tam escape the witch's grasp, though losing Maggie's tail in the process. At the end of the poem, Burns has some advice to give. Now who this tale of truth shall be, each man and mother's son take heed. Whenever to drink you are inclined, or short skirts run in your mind, think you may buy joys over dear, but remember Tam O'Shanter's mare. So now, please enjoy two songs from Tam O'Shanter, Ye Banks and Braes, and Willie Brewed a Peck of Malt. September 28, 1945, the U.S. and most of the world is celebrating the end of World War II. On August 14th, just 6 weeks earlier, the Japanese had surrendered. And I think we all can remember that picture of the sailor and the nurse kissing in Times Square. Well, that happened on August 14th. And then just a few weeks later, on September 2nd, the Japanese signed the Treaty of Surrender on the battleship Missouri. So on September 28th, the town of Harvard was waiting to celebrate themselves. And they did so. So please sit back and enjoy these three movements of the Nutcracker Suite. especially written for television. The name of the opera was Amahl and the Night Visitors. This piece was originally, when this piece was originally offered as a recording to the public, it was on vinyl, and it came with a note from the composer. I'd like to read a little bit of that note. This is an opera for children because it tries to recapture my own childhood. You see, when I was a child, I lived in Italy. And in Italy, we have no Santa Claus. I suppose that Santa Claus is much too busy with American children to be able to handle Italian children as well. Our gifts were brought to us by the Three Kings instead. I actually never met the Three Kings. It didn't matter how hard my little brother and I tried to keep awake at night to catch a glimpse of the three royal visitors. We would always fall asleep just before they arrived. But I do remember hearing them. I remember the weird cadence of their song in the dark distance. I remember the brittle sound of the camel's hooves crushing the frozen snow. And I remember the mysterious twinkling of their silver bridles. My favorite king was King Melchior, because he was the oldest and had a long white beard. My brother's favorite was King Caspar. He insisted that this king was a little crazy and quite deaf. I don't know why he was so positive about his being deaf. Maybe it was because he never brought the gifts that my brother had asked for. But in 1951, I found myself in serious difficulty. I had been commissioned by the National Broadcasting Company to write an opera for television, with Christmas as a deadline, and I simply didn't have one idea in my head. One November afternoon, as I was walking rather gloomily around the rooms of the Metropolitan Museum, I chanced to step in front of the Adoration of the Kings by Hieronymus Bosch. And as I was looking at it, suddenly I heard again, coming from the distant blue hills, the weird song of the Three Kings. I then realized that they had come back to me and had brought a gift. That was from Giancarlo Menotti. Amahl and the Night Visitors was a hit. Many children would look forward to it each year, as much as I looked forward to Rudolph the Grinch or Charlie Brown's Christmas. So we have two numbers for you from Amahl and the Night Visitors. First will be This Is My Boss, performed by Chris McWhite as King Caspar and Britt Argo as the voice of young Amahl. The second piece is The Shepherd's Dance. event, which occurred in 1971. I would like to tell you a little bit about some of the main events of the 60s. In the 1960s, the Boston Gas and Light Company teamed up with Donald Supermarket to arrange cooking shows at the town hall. They would set up ovens on the stage and then hang a large overhead mirror above them, allowing the audience to watch the chefs as they worked. After the food was cooked, it would be given out as lottery prizes or as door prizes. One year, I think they had a roasted mutton with candied yams and potato. Our next number came to us in 1971. It was the German film Three-Penny Opera. I assume it came with subtitles. So please enjoy Mac the Knife. In the summer of 1977, a young 12-year-old boy was dragged kicking and screaming to the town hall to see his sister in a play. Because he had not been the best behaved 12-year-old boy that day, he was forced to sit with his parents while at the show and suffer the barbs and ridicule of his friends in the back row. I don't remember what my sister's part was in the play, but I loved the show. I think I even went back the following evening, although this time I sat in the back row with my friends. So ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy a couple of numbers from Little Mary Sunshine. And as a special surprise this evening, Helen Batchelder, after 38 years, will reprise her role as Little Mary Sunshine. organizer, our stage manager, our director, Claire Rindanello.
We saw Claire on a walk a week ago.